This is what happens to your body when you stop eating for 30 days. Would you stop eating for more than 30 days? Many people, in their eagerness to lose weight or because of a disorder that alters their perception of their body, resort to extreme diets and other measures. This can lead to not eating for several days, an action that can trigger life-threatening complications. Today, we will explore the terrible consequences your body would suffer if you stopped eating for an extended period of time. Are you ready? Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. As experts warn, many people feel pressured and desperate to change their appearance to fit the socially accepted concept of beauty. Generally, this concept is closely related to having the thinnest body possible. Instead of going to a doctor or nutritionist, people often seek solutions from unreliable or even untrustworthy sources. They end up adopting any miracle formula that promises to help them lose weight. The worst part is that these formulas are far from realistic and even less healthy. When you don't eat, the hypothalamus tries to compensate. The hypothalamus is an endocrine gland located at the base of the brain, and one of its functions is to regulate energy balance. It controls hunger and satiety, specialists say. Depending on your body's energy needs, it will activate the necessary mechanisms to meet those needs, both in the short and long term. So, even if you don't eat for a day, the hypothalamus will tap into energy reserves to compensate for the lack. Not eating or fasting could trigger neurological disorders before metabolic ones, and underlying disorders that could lead to obesity or anorexia. The 7th hour without food. We have all experienced the 7th hour of not eating. From this point on, the glycogen source begins to diminish. The visible effects are irritability, distraction, and a reduction in cognitive abilities. From 7 to 72 hours without food. Since glycogen is not sufficient, the body begins to look for other elements to convert into glucose. To do this, the body breaks down fat, where it finds long-chain fatty acids that contain enough glucose. However, because of their thickness, they cannot reach the brain, even though they are available to the tissues and blood. As a result, the brain uses short-chain fatty acids, even though they can only meet 75% of the brain's energy needs. As a result, we begin to experience a decline in cognitive functions, such as concentration problems, memory, and reduced reaction time. Experiments conducted over 72 hours of fasting have shown that this directly affects neurometabolism as an adaptive response of the body to survive. From the 3rd to the 7th day. From the 3rd day, the brain adapts to function by metabolizing ketone bodies to conserve proteins. Under these circumstances, the body begins the process of breaking down proteins. This produces amino acids from which enough glucose is extracted to feed the brain. While this may sound positive, in reality, the body is consuming itself as it feeds on its own muscle mass. In women, this process disrupts the menstrual cycle as the body attempts to minimize energy expenditure. It also leads to a loss of bone density and a decrease in sexual appetite. Between 1 and 2 weeks. During this period, we can already discuss the consequences of not eating for several days. The effects at this point may be irreversible, although it depends on many variables. Initial body weight, age, and gender are some of them. The body continues to break down proteins to sustain itself, a process that damages organs and the entire immune system. In this situation, the likelihood of developing a disease increases. From 3 weeks to 70 days. In certain cases, it is possible to survive for more than 3 weeks and up to 70 days without eating. This depends on the amount of fat stored and the amount of water consumed. However, in each of these cases, the body will continue to consume itself until it eventually fails. Therefore, it is essential to maintain proper nutrition. If you are thinking about not eating to lose weight, think twice to avoid irreversible consequences. If you like this video, subscribe to the channel and enable notifications so you don't miss any new videos.